Part 2. Living with Asperger's Syndrome. Growing up and living my life with two loving parents who were devoted in giving me life, with all their heartfelt wisdom and knowledge of what life is all about, living and experiencing what it has to offer and so much more, has not been easy. But has been worth sharing each other's company and experiences. Fact. Children with AS may have meltdowns that last between 10 minutes and several hours, when the child is not in control of his/her behavior. Asperger/Autism Network. Parents to me, are like our very first teachers in life, and that they are there to guide us, protect us, nurture us. No matter what happens to a child, they should and would always be there no matter what situation their child is facing at that time or any given moment. I am proud to say, I am humbled and blessed to have my parents around today. Without them both being there for me and putting up with everything that I have been through, of my first dates, heartaches/heartbreaks, temper tantrums, and so much more of what I have been through in the past, I would not be here today, as well as becoming the person of whom and what I am becoming in the present and also in the future, if not for them. Born and bred as a New Zealand European. I was born and bred in Hamilton until I was 1 or 2 years of age, when my parents decided to move to Te Awamutu. In December 1995, my parents decided to move again, and this time, they decided to move to Palmerston North. In June 2001 again, my parents decided to move to Leven, which is where they are currently residing in to this day. It is a difficult and challenging life that I live in. Yet, I am not going to make it any harder than it can be, as life would be so much easier for us all if we have more awareness and understanding to how we can make life easier for people like me with has this condition. The term disability has been replaced time and time again by different people with different degrees in their field of work. This term, however, has been used interchangeably for so many years to describe social and economic consequences of the person. Many specialists, doctors, and psychologists these days don't use the term of disability anymore, as it is more often now called condition or disorder. They use these two terms especially whenever I am around these specialists. I hear the word condition is used more often than disorder, as these specialists are trying to be careful how they use these terms as to not offend the person in whom they are diagnosing with these impairments. Living with AS could be difficult for most or maybe all of us females today. This is known as an invisible condition. Many of you may feel that we are just quirky, shy, emotional, and difficult, or even to the point of being blunt and outspoken. Whatever feelings or traits that we come across, we are who we are, and what we are, and we just need to be understood as well as to not being taken advantage of. Before being diagnosed with AS, my parents and I may have felt that I was sometimes obnoxious, rude, selfish, and cruel to some intent. Yet, in reality, I do have a whole mass of feelings inside of me that I do portray yet. Then the label, drama queen, comes out from many people that come across today when they see me. Introduction. Why judge me before you get to know me? I would like to take the time right now to take you all on a journey of getting to know me, not just as a writer of this book but myself in general. Yes, I have encountered a lot of everyday struggles like everyone else. I do struggle still with some everyday situations or encounters I have faced in my life, yet I am blessed to have some sort of support network around me through friends, family, and organizations. I know that I am not an easy one for some people, yet I am forever grateful for some of the people that has come into my life and stayed to travel with me on my journey of life with AS and other conditions I have. I found out that, sometimes when I try hard to be around people, some can be really rude, abrupt, impatient, and more. Yet, that is not their fault. I know that some people are lacking in understanding, knowledge, or just some sort of experiences. I said earlier in my introduction that there are few points I want to address and hope that with these aims met, we can see each other in a different light. I sometimes see things black and white, and sometimes I see things in a different way. Also, I read into thin lines into what people say to me and read it differently. Yet, no matter what I do, I am sure that we can somehow find a balance for us all to meet and understand one another. I am, after all, still human like every one of you. I am not perfect. No. I am far from it. No one is perfect, let's be frank and honest about it. I know that some of the topics I will be in this book will be a real sensitive one for most. Yet I do not wish to cause any disagreements or misgivings to you readers. I keep to myself most days, and then some days, I do tend to push myself to hang around with different people, no matter where they are from or going to, and who they are. I try to accept everyone as the same. However, most of my life, I have kept to myself to a point where I feel like it can be a lonely world. More about my life experiences on socialization once we get to that chapter. As I said before, yes, everyone goes through the everyday struggles, yet they do not need to do it alone. Yes, the world can be a scary place when you are taking the first step of the unknown, yet we can take hold of what we have, and tell ourselves that anything is possible to achieve. I am sick and tired of trying to be someone who I am not. This means, I do not wish to be made into something that the world and society is trying to make me think, speak, and act. I should be able to do what I want, when I want. Yes, I agree that there will always be some repercussions to what we do in life. We'll learn from the mistakes and keep moving forward. I am sick and tired of how I feel that I am used one day and then left upon the shelf. Hence, why I am writing this book, to create a voice and hoping that this voice of mine will be heard and understood by many of you readers. I have the quote of "take me or leave me, accept me or reject me," plus many others that I try to live by. Yes, many people may not understand me for whom and what I am. I am not faking it. No. I am a human being that is alive, kicking and wanting to succeed in life like many of you would want to do in your life. I breathe the same air as you all, I eat similar foods to you. I hear same sounds and maybe in greater depth than you. I am still human. I am Karen. Have you ever thought of trying to talk to me and maybe stop assuming that I am hard to understand? Have you ever thought whenever you do commune with me, that how you talk to me can affect me? I still have feelings. Yes. I am a woman. Despite what we go through in life, no matter what it is, we should not be dwelling on it. We should embrace ourselves and say to ourselves, look how far I have come to achieve and accomplish in life, even if it is taking longer to succeed in some other necessary parts of our journey. Did I choose to have AS? Did I choose to suffer from depression? No, I did not. I am sick and tired of people telling me to get over it when I am doing my best to get back to reality and actually live my life. Yes. I may read or analyze too much into finer detail, yet maybe one day you will thank me for doing this. I am sick and tired of hearing people saying, it is just a phase, you will get over this. I do not choose to let these conditions rule over me, as in matter of fact, I choose to live my life with as much confidence I have, as well as living independently. I do not let these conditions come in my way when I start my day to a brighter one. I am standing against these conditions to whatever is going to be thrown at me. I am using some positive attitude and thinking with the statements, I am more than my AS and I am more than my depression. Despite what people think about me with my AS and depression, I feel. Do I need to be treated differently to others around you? Do you need to fear me for being different? No. You do not have to fear me for being different. Yes, being different to others is scary, yet it can be exciting and challenging for you and I. I do have thoughts, or used to have thoughts in me, thinking what would people say and think about me being different? None of the responses that I come to face with people in my everyday life will change my perspective about me. Yet, if we were to accept how we go about it and maybe find some other alternatives and agree on something, then it will be easier for us both. People that had come and gone in my life for whatever reason it might be and got to know me, and some that may have still tried to stick around with me, would not have known that I have these conditions until I opened up to them and shared my story as well as my journey them. These same people would not have known that I have these conditions until I ended up having the courage to talk or speak out about it. I am not here to judge or criticize my readers. I just want to build a connection or a relationship somehow through this book, and I am hoping that it will bring us hope and a decent look at one another. Living in a Silent World diagnosis. When I was younger, I was in a world of my own. A world of silence where I did not talk as my parents thought through my years that I would not, silence where no one could hear me or even understand me, as I was in a world of my own, a world of peace. Peace was my safe haven at that time. I did tend to have struggles communicating to others like many other children may have. Struggles, such as fear of what may be said to me or what people may think of me as an Aspie. When I was in primary school, I had to have some speech therapy lessons as I was struggling to put some sentences together. As I grew older, I started to feel more at ease with some people. At that time when I was in groups, I tended to feel anxious and have panic attacks frequently, and needed and control them, as well as whenever a meltdown came. It was like a different world to me. I had to really try harder to relate to the people around me. I started to talk at the tender age of 6, and that, my parents were excited as I was talking so much that they could not stop me at all. They were so ecstatic that they thanked goodness their daughter can speak now. The problem was, I felt that talking or talking too much in public would get me into trouble. I was always silent, as I remembered my parents taught me that there's a right time and wrong time to speak at that age. Again, as I shared before, many people felt that I was the shy and an awkward child in class, as well as many other things that I was labeled with. Throughout my life, my parents were questioning about how I would to cope with the outside world, as many of them would perceive it differently from how I do. I was, when younger, in some specialized classes to help me to learn more. My mother found out that there was something different about me, as she had been concerned through all my school life of what my life would be like, in a different environment than home. Today, I do however tend to keep pushing myself every day to live a life that can be fun and easy for me to live to the fullest. Yet, I do need to be sure now and again that I have a routine, or else I feel that my world is just not working well around me. What I mean is that, without a routine and order, then, my world is empty and will likely to collapse around me. I do, however, feel that it can be difficult to fit into some molds or even labels that people tend to have on us. More on this part of labels later on in my book. To me, we shouldn't have to be following other people and being someone we are not. We should just find a place where we feel that we can fit. I do have a tendency to have communication breakdowns now and again. I have this, and I seem to have a delay in answering to people in a group as well as questions with just one person at a time. Yet, if you are me, all I can ask for is to be patient and try to understand me. I know that sometimes, it can be hard for the other person that is with me at the time I am with them. Yet I do believe that if patient enough, that I will be able to get my message across to you. I have the tendency to write thoughts or ideas down that sometimes may be a bit too long for others. Yet, in that way of writing, there are certain hidden messages in there that I am sure that the readers will find. Once I find a topic of any kind that I have knowledge about, I may go off and talk a lot on it. As an Aspie young woman, I have dreams and goals like no other person that I hope to achieve, yet with a non-autistic young woman, it is different because they are capable of devoting more to themselves in a wider social circle. As an Aspie woman, I have more time to devote myself to my inner life or peace, but I may not be able to reach out to people who might help us up the ladder of success because of our lack of social skills. I admit that I am one of those type people. Some tasks that you may give me may take longer than others, yet when I focus on that one task it will be done more efficiently and accurately. I guess I can call myself a perfectionist when it comes to doing my tasks well, and to get it right. Yet, we all know that we cannot get it right the first time, as it takes time, patience, endurance, dedication, and motivation to keep us going forward towards that particular task at hand. If you swamp me down with too many tasks, I do tend to get too overwhelmed and then I get sidetracked. Yes, I work differently, but if we all work together as a team, I am sure that we can do anything together to create a success in a win-win environment. After all, I am human and that I do make mistakes just like any one of you out there. When we make mistakes, we should be able to learn from these and to move on forward. Also, to accept that some mistakes that we make cannot be fixed. Yet, I am the type of Aspie that would like to make circumstances right before it gets messy no matter what I got myself into,